come from a student who wasn't prepared for the final. When Scarlett was found dead, Dr. Caldwell realized her error. She had lived with the crushing guilt ever since. It was a feeling I was all too familiar with. Scarlett's death was as much my fault. I shouldn't have encouraged her to dive deeper into the investigation. I shouldn't have treated it like an adventure. I should have gone with her to meet her source. It should have been me. I scanned the email, holding on to a tiny glimmer of hope that the message might contain a nugget of news. It didn't. Just more of the same. We regret to inform you that our latest inquiries have failed to uncover anything new. I sighed and slammed my laptop shut. You're torturing yourself, Annie, and you have a lot of work to do. I glanced toward the garden. Late summer was in full bloom. Honeybees buzzed between immaculately trimmed rose bushes and rows of rosemary and lavender. Leafy palms stretched toward the sun, the only giveaway I was in Redwood Grove, California, not a royal garden in the English countryside. Pastoral grasses and views of the coastal mountains extended in the distance, drenched in buttery sun. The air was tinged with a hint of salt water and a touch of humidity that made my curls spring and frizz. I smoothed them down and let the midday heat warm my cheeks. It made the freckles on my arms pop and my entire body feel like it was wrapped in a giant hug. I leaned back against the Adirondack chair and soaked it in, taking one last moment to center myself before returning inside. I needed to get back to work. There were about 1,000,000 details to cross off my list before tonight. I still couldn't believe we were hosting the official premiere of Midnight Alibi in my sweet little town. Earlier this summer, Redwood Grove hosted our inaugural Mystery Festival. The idea came about because the bookstore where I'd worked since college, the Secret Bookcase, was in need of a serious influx of cash and customers to keep our doors open. An Agatha Christie-themed bookstore housed in an old manor house in a remote section of Northern California didn't exactly make us a destination for travel. That changed with the Mystery Fest. The entire community had rallied to invite bookish mystery lovers from all over the region into the village square for a fully immersive weekend of author talks, panels, a mysterious pub crawl, and more. The event was such a success that we were in the black at the bookstore for the first time in years and already planning for a Halloween reader extravaganza. I would have been content to focus on our fall festival, but a few weeks ago I received an unexpected call out of the blue from an independent filmmaker in LA. "Hey, Annie, there's a call for you," Fletcher, my coworker, had said, waving me over to the cash register on an unusually soggy summer afternoon. Rain splattered against the original single-pane windows with such violence that I thought they might shatter. I had been in the middle of setting up a new front-of-store display, sent by one of the big publishing houses. "Is it actually for me, Fletcher, or do you just not want to have to talk on the phone?" I asked, tilting my head to one side and giving him my best half-scowl. Fletcher could talk anyone's ear off in person, but for some reason I could never quite figure out, he hated answering the phone. He would gladly handle returns, damaged books, or deal with unsellable stock, all of which could be frustrating and a time suck, in exchange for not having to take customer orders over the phone. I didn't get it. "No, she's asking for you." He pointed to the phone and then covered it with one hand. "She says she needs to speak with Ms. Murray." "Ms. Murray? So fancy." I scrunched my brow, abandoned the display, and went to answer the phone. No one called me Ms. Murray. In fact, I'd bet that even our most loyal customers didn't know my last name. "Ms. Murray, this is Heather Hathaway, the film director." She paused, waiting, as if I was supposed to know who she was. "Okay." I glanced at Fletcher and whispered, "Heather Hathaway?" He shrugged and shook his head. She cleared her throat, sounding irritated. "As I said, I'm a film director, and I'm calling with very good news for you today." Was she hoping that we would carry her film? I hated to break it to her, but we didn't have the shelf space for DVDs. Every inch of the bookstore was devoted to our extensive collection of mysteries. Plus, customers weren't interested in DVDs. Everything was streaming these days. "I happened to read a review of the Mystery Fest you put on in an online journal while I was waiting at my dentist's office last week," Heather continued. "And this is where you come into the picture. I've decided that Redwood Grove would be the perfect place to hold the premiere of my new thriller, Midnight Alibi." Now, it was my